This is the story of Little Red Riding Hood. Once upon a time, there was a little girl who lived in a village near a big forest. Her grandma had made her a beautiful red cloak with a big red hood, which she wore every time she went outside. And so everyone in the village called her Little Red Riding Hood. One day, Little Red Riding Hood's mother said,
"Grandma isn't feeling very well. Will you take this basket of food through the forest to her cottage?"
"Yes, I sure would love to see Grandma."
She put on her red cloak, and she pulled up her red hood, and she took the basket of food into the forest. Remember, her mother called after her,
"Don't talk to any strangers along the way."
"I won't." Little Red Riding Hood promised, and she skipped down the path and into the woods. Little Red Riding Hood did not have to worry about getting lost in the forest, because she knew the way to Grandma's house very well. But along the way, she saw some beautiful wildflowers growing near the path. She stopped to pick a few, and she said to herself,
"I bet Grandma would really like these flowers."
A deep, growling voice from behind her said,
"Hello there, little girl."
"Hello."
Little Red Riding Hood replied, but she did not know the wolf was bad, and she had already forgotten her mother's words about talking to strangers. The big bad wolf asked,
"Where are you going on this fine day?"
"I'm going to my grandma's cottage on the other side of the forest. She isn't feeling well, and I'm bringing her this basket of food and these flowers."
"What a sweet girl you are."
The big bad wolf smiled and showed off his mouth full of sharp teeth. He was not interested in the basket of food. Little Red Riding Hood said, "Goodbye," to the wolf. She skipped off down the path. The big bad wolf's stomach grumbled and growled with hunger, and suddenly he had an idea. As quick as he could, he ran through the forest, all the way to Grandma's cottage. The sneaky wolf opened the door very quietly and found Grandma asleep in her bed. He picked the old woman up, opened his great big mouth, and he swallowed poor Grandma in one gulp. Then the big bad wolf climbed into the bed and pulled the blanket up to his chin. He put on Grandma's glasses and her nightcap, and he waited for the little girl to arrive with her flowers and basket of food. When Little Red Riding Hood arrived at the cottage, she opened the door quietly and found Grandma lying in bed. And said,
"Hello, Grandma. Mother told me you weren't feeling well, so I brought you some food and some flowers."
"Come closer, my dear."
"My, what big ears you have, Grandma."
"All the better to hear you with. Come closer, my dear."
"My, what big teeth you have, Grandma."
"All the better to eat you with."
The big bad wolf growled, and he jumped out of the bed and opened his great big mouth. Little Red Riding Hood shrieked and tried to run, but the hungry wolf grabbed her up and swallowed Little Red Riding Hood in just one gulp. Outside the cottage, a woodsman happened to be walking through the forest when he heard Little Red Riding Hood's shriek of surprise. He hurried inside to see the wolf and his huge, round belly. The woodsman grabbed up the big bad wolf, turned him upside down, and shook him by the feet. Little Red Riding Hood came tumbling out of the wolf's mouth, and Grandma followed. The three of them chased the big bad wolf out of the cottage, out of the forest, and over a hill. The big bad wolf ran for his life and was never seen again. Little Red Riding Hood learned her lesson, and she never, ever talked to strangers after that. The end.